Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently 3:13 on Sunday afternoon, and this is Joe with the Circuit 123. Today we're going to go over some stuff about the cell phone industry, and basically I'm going to go over generally how to pick out a cell phone and how to choose the right carrier. Okay. I was a customer service representative for Verizon Wireless at an Irvine call center for about a year and a half. After and before I re-entered the IT field. So I've actually gotten a chance to learn quite a bit about the cell phone industry as well, and hope to deliver some valuable information to you. Now the first thing I'm going to tell you about, I'm just going to tell you about the 4 top carriers right now in the country. It's Verizon Wireless, AT&T at number 2, Sprint number 3, and T-Mobile number 4. Basically they all provide wireless services, okay? And they all provide, and they all, depending on which carrier, may or may not be available in your particular area. You will need to go to that carrier's specific website, and I'll show you using one website how you can do that, and basically all websites will have access. Now I've been a Verizon Wireless customer for, well, I used Verizon from 2000 to 2005, then I went to Sprint from 2005 to 2008, and then I went back to Verizon. So I'm actually pretty partial to Verizon Wireless. So I'm going to demonstrate using the Verizon Wireless webpage. However, that doesn't mean that other carriers do not provide great service. Now, looking at the Verizon Wireless homepage, alright, I'll just type in coverage in the search box, because this is the first thing you want to go ahead and check for. I'm just looking for New York here. I'm going to look for, let's say, New York, which is basically Manhattan. Alright, now we're going to learn more about the coverage locator. And let's just say, let's just change it to White Plains, New York, 10601. Okay. Now I'm out of California, but I grew up in New York, so I'm pretty familiar. Okay, so this is the zip code for White Plains, New York, and it's going to give you a coverage map. So whenever you're looking for a cell phone, you want to make sure you get coverage in your area. Okay, and each coverage map will give you a legend. And the legend is basically a detail of how to read this particular map. And basically, according to this, you get digital coverage, okay? Analog coverage is no longer prevalent amongst most cell phone carriers. As of February 19th, 2008, the FCC mandated that all of the cell phone carriers take down their analog towers. A lot of people were upset with this decision because analog did have a outreach into the mountains, where digital signal does not always travel to. But Verizon Wireless is doing an extremely capable job of trying to bring coverage out into the remote areas. In 2008, they also acquired one of the nation's largest carriers in the South, Alltel, which brought them up in last year to 80 million customers. They're now at 89 million customers, Verizon Wireless. Now, as I am partial to Verizon Wireless, I will admit I enjoyed my stay with Sprint. The only reason why I went back was because I actually became an employee and got their discount. And then I'm still under an employee with a relative that still works there. But other than that, Verizon Wireless does provide excellent quality customer service. They do train their employees very well, and that's who I'm partial to. However, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile basically, if you're looking for a great plan, you want to make sure that you get the same coverage as you would if you already have a cell phone, or if you're looking for a cell phone, you want to make sure you can get coverage, okay? And I would look at the cell phone site's coverage map, or whenever if you go into a retail store, or if you go to a Walmart and you want to buy there, make sure you make sure you ask for a coverage map. You want proof that there's coverage in your area, because yes, most cell phone carriers do give you 30 days, 15 to 30 days to try out your service, and if you don't like it, bring the phone back. You don't want to have to go through that hassle, so just make sure you have coverage in your area, okay? Now let's just say all of a sudden you start having dropped calls or something like that. It could be because of your equipment that's giving you problems, or a network issue, if you know you have coverage. But then the next thing you want to decide on is choosing the correct plan, okay? Now, same thing with Verizon. It's pretty much the same thing with other sites. So I'm going to use Verizon's cell phone plan page to give you an idea of what plans are like from carrier to carrier. Okay, we're just going to do simple voice plans. Now, basically, carriers have two types of plans. Well, they have more than one, but I'm going to simplify it. They have basically individual plans and family plans. An individual plan is a plan that one person can get, and depending on their needs, they can either get anything from, 450 minutes or 300 minutes all the way up to unlimited range of numbers. And that's basically prevalent from carrier to carrier. Now, different carriers have different deals. Some have better deals than other carriers. Some have better deals than Verizon, but the one thing you want to make sure that you're getting is coverage. Now, especially if you travel throughout the United States a lot, you need to make sure that the carrier you select has a quality, reliable network and is going to have coverage in the areas that you travel to frequently. A lot of times people fall into the trap of, oh, T-Mobile has this great deal, maybe, and let's say they're really into this T-Mobile deal, but they go to somewhere and they're like, oh wow, I don't have service, so I keep dropping a call. Well, then that doesn't help you. They just don't have the network capacity in those particular areas that you need, and thus, that's not going to work out for you, okay? Also, when shopping for cell phone service, make sure you understand your terms and conditions, and make sure you learn how to understand and read your bill. If you need to call into customer service for the first month, they should explain this to you in the store, but they don't. As a rep, I always got customers calling in. Learn how to read your bill and learn how to keep your bill maintained steady. For example, if you're going to do text messaging, make sure you get the proper text messaging package. Understand that if you receive a text message, you are charged for it regardless. Make sure you understand your carrier's policies. As a consumer, that is your responsibility to make sure you understand what is going on. If a lot of times I'd get calls from customers with high bills and they'd act like it's not their responsibility or it's not their fault. It's you're the consumer, you're responsible, take charge and make sure you know what you're signing. Because ultimately, the carrier has 89 million other customers, and they would love to have you. Most carriers, some have 20 million, some have 40 million customers, some have 60 million, some have 80 million customers. Either way, that's a lot of customers, no matter how small of a million or how big of a million the customers a wireless carrier has. It is your responsibility to make sure you understand how things work. Okay, everything from the point of sale all the way to early termination fees. Make sure you understand what the deal is with that. It's different from carrier to carrier. Okay. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you some information on how to get a cell phone. In my next video, I'll go into cell phones more specifically and what phone to get for you. Alright, I want to thank you for joining me. The Circuit 123. Have a wonderful day. Bye.